honorable members, including the sport, arts and culture, creative sector. Honorable members, our guests, I was humbled to hear our new Minister of Sport, Honorable Zizi Kodwa, during last night's television interview, suspecting that a majority of us have seen and listened when he highlighted the challenges that women face in the field of sport, the women challenges which faced by the women in sport. One of the most profound statements made yesterday was when he called for the equality in term of remuneration within sports sector. We know that our department has been championing this. This was coupled by the need to continue to strive for transformation and equality opportunities on the field played. As this committee, we know that we explained and wanted that everybody must understand and know when we're talking about transformation. There are some of areas that committee had planned its oversight work. This also gives us confidence that there was through a handover between the former and the current minister. We've seen the way that the new minister articulated that handover. At least it's giving us the knowledge and the understanding that we are going to be on track, let alone that even our deputy minister is still with us. So I'm suspecting our minister won't get lost. There was, when we're still schooling, lost in the mist. We as a committee will ensure that we continue our work, ensuring that we will provide the necessary support, minister and deputy minister, but also hold the ministry accountable, ensuring that it all what we wanted and with them will achieve all objectives and outline in the 5-year strategic plan. With that, so without being said, I would like to declare that this meeting is open. Thank you to former minister. Thank you to the present DM that they made it, that they've taken our minister through. But the way that he was articulating, I'm suspecting that also he has got a know-how about sport. And surely every South African, young and old, they know that we've got legend of sport in this country. With those words, thank you so much, honorable members. Honorable members, to our secretariat, I want that they must give us an apology. I do have some apologies in case that they are not with you, but can I give you that opportunity to give us apologies?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning to everyone on the platform. We have an apology from Ms. Sibia, who is attending another committee meeting. We also have an apology.
Just a moment, so just a moment. I can't hear you clearly. I'm suspecting. Can you start again?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
We have an apology from Ms. Sibia. She is attending another committee. We also have an apology from Mr. Joseph. He is involved in the parliamentary golf day today. We have an apology from the minister, who had another commitment, pre-arranged commitment that could not be deferred to a later date. We also have an apology from the acting DG, Dr. Kumalo. representing the minister in Mbombela.
There's somebody who disturbed you, Zo, is say Banyana. We have said we have got a minister's apology. The next one.
Yes, Madam Chair, it's acting DG Kumalo. She is representing the minister in an event in Mbombela. And Ms. Khan, who is representing the DG, is going to leave the meeting at 11. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Honorable members, we have apologies in front of us. I would love to give you that you must, or I've seen Honorable Tsebo, but let me start with Honorable Deputy Minister. Deputy Minister.
Thank you very much, Chair, and good morning to the Honorable Member. I'm here, Chair, but I just wanted to ask the meeting if they can allow me to leave probably around 9:30, 9:45. We have a meeting with the minister at 10, but I thought I must start in this meeting before I go there. So I just thought I must just put that apology myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister. Honorable Mhlongo.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, we know the apologies, but I'm disappointed, Chair, that the Deputy Minister is not wearing a netball t-shirt. I think she must buy us each sweets because she's not wearing that t-shirt and she's leading that netball Women's World Cup. Chair, I wanted to find out, especially with the Minister, will she be available next week? But we note his apology today, yes. But will he be available for us to, you know?
You said, pardon? Is she, we've said, is she going to be available next week?
Will he be available? Will he be available next week, Tuesday, for us to engage? I saw the interview with your introduction, Chair, Minister Koloma, but I wanted us to, you know, we must baptize him here in this committee first and then wish him luck and everything. But nonetheless, Chair, I note the apologies and your comment. And if, without disrespecting you, I move for the adoption of the agenda.
Thank you, Honorable Mhlongo.
Do you see my t-shirt, Chair? Can I switch off?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
I do.
Okay,
yes,
I don't see.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
No, I do. There's no other hand to adopt the agenda. I don't know where are other honorable members. Sometimes members on Fridays, they are doing this to us.
Mr. Zondi's hand is up, Madam Chair.
Yes.
No,
yes,
they have just seen. No. I'm looking at the participants. Now, when I was saying I don't see other hands, I've seen Honorable Adams, Honorable Zondi, Honorable Maloman. I'm sure what I was saying. Honorable Adams.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good morning to all on the platform. Chairperson must also look into the matter of network. We are very slow, but I move for the adoption of the apologies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. Honorable Zondi.
Chair.
I'll call all of you because these last times you raised it at the same time. Honorable Zondi.
Yes, Chair. Yes, Chair. Chair, I do second Honorable Adams. But Chair, the other thing is this thing of wearing t-shirts, which you have been begging for 4 months now.
Oh, shame.
Yeah, I don't know. Ngiyafisa nje sihlalo wazi ukuthi ubani lo vimbe now ngoba ngo-2010 ngesikhathi si World Cup la uSafa wakhipha yena kodwa ayetholakala nasezitolo wona ma uSafa engakunikanga wherever you meet uSafa or whoever the Safa event, but you go and buy yourself. Ayemaningi impela, but World Cup go July in South Africa and we are begging for t-shirts. Ma ngabe kukhona ledayisa khona mhlambe sicela ukuyalela mangabe kukhona uvimbile sitshene osihlala ukuthi ubani lo ongafuni nawo ukuze nathi siwaqoka siyathanda ukuwaqoka. Mina sihlalo sengikhathele uchonyelwa uNjomane every Friday ukuthi yena uyigqokile thina siwagqokile ngathi asithandi kanti siyathanda sihlala inkinga ukuthi abafuni nawo. Ngiyabonga sihlalo.
Thank you so much, Honorable Zondi, Honorable DDG, and Honorable Deputy Minister Head. According to my understanding, the T-shirts from our department was given to our officers and to our political parties. But seemingly, the majority of this committee members, they don't have T-shirts. Maybe when before the DM is leaving us, he will just refer this question to our acting DDG. But also, Honorable Mhlongo, thank you. But I'm not sure about wanting an apology of next week. We wish that the minister will be finishing all the takeovers, doing everything. But I'm not sure whether Honorable DM can respond. She knows better. How far are they? I'm suspecting whilst he is taking over, he's handing over to another department. Thank you, DM.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'm sure Honorable Mhlongo will be happy wearing the T-shirt now.
After thoughts, Deputy, after thoughts, you owe us.
Yes,
She
but
was
the
ready
suits
for
will
other
still come.
meeting. She was ready for other meeting.
Yes. Yeah, I note what Honorable Zondi is saying, Chair. We will facilitate that those T-shirts are with the members by next week. I commit to that. And on the issue of the minister, we will come back to the committee. Remember, we are doing the handover, as the chair is saying. We're having a meeting today, and we will be having a meeting on Tuesday with all the branches of the department. But I can't say he won't make time to come and greet the portfolio committee. I will engage him today, and we will then send the communication to you, Chair.
Thank you so much. I didn't want to be a mouthpiece of the ministry. The minister did call me yesterday, DM. He indicated that we are having so many entities, stakeholders. He was saying that he forwarded the apology, but he wanted to explain why is forwarding the apology, let alone that I've reported to himself that you were already interacting with me when we were in the plenary, and he was saying he want to come after he consulted all the stakeholders. So I'm confirming what we are saying. Thank you, DM. Thank you for even the response about T-shirts. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Excuse me,
Honorable.
Madam Chair. Excuse me, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Mrs. Adams seconded the adoption of the apologies. Can she please correct that and second the adoption of the agenda?
Yes, she is always doing this mistake. Please repeat, Honorable.
Sorry, Chairperson.
Accept.
Thank you, Ma'am Zoleka. I adopted the agenda. I thank you. I move for the adoption. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable members, can we take this opportunity to welcome again the department, the acting DG, DDG Khan. I must confirm also that we are having deputy ministers and ministers saying that, Chairperson, you must not think that we are disrespecting you. I did get this through Deputy, and Minister called me about the acting DG's task that he has been given. So DG, acting DG can. Thank you. Are you in acting DG? Ms. Somaya?
Good morning, Chairperson and members, and good morning, Deputy Minister, and good morning to the leadership of Karate South Africa, led by Shian Sanipile. Firstly, Chairperson, I'm not the acting ADG. I've just been asked to lead the delegation as part of my portfolio. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm standing in for the ADG, Dr. Kumalo, this morning. Chairperson, I thank you very much. I'm not sure, Chairperson, if you were asking me to acknowledge or you want me to also introduce our delegation.
You can do so, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, part of our delegation here, I did see my colleague DDG Ndima and also Mr. Ntobi Tamzashe in the meeting. I'm also joined by the Chief Director, Mr. Simpiwe Nube, and also by the two directors, Mr. Mfundo Mina and Ms. Sipesishle Mchali. And we're also joined by the colleagues from the Office of the DG, Ms. Nokubonga Ramalepe and Mr. Lodwick Lalabipi. Yes, that's the delegation from our side, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, can you flight your overview briefing to us?
Okay. Thank you. I'm not sure. Okay, thanks,
Yes.
Thanks, Lodwick, for screening, putting it on. Okay, thank you very much, Chairperson. We have in the meeting, as per the agenda, Karate South Africa, and their responsibility was the Portfolio Committee invited Karate South Africa to present on their 2023-2024 annual performance plan progress regarding the development of the sport in schools and in provinces. Madam Chair, the presentation from the department will detail the support that has been provided to karate in the 2020 and 2021, and then also the 2022 and the 2023 financial years. We will also highlight major events hosted and governance-related matters. In terms of the governance, Madam Chair, since the declaration of the COVID-19, key Karate South Africa projects and programs were affected, as with most of all the sporting codes. And I must indicate, Madam Chair, that during that time and with the relief funding, etc., Karate had made some strides in making sure that they strengthen, their clubs and get them affiliated and follow the right path instead of being, outside, working outside of the structure. And in 2022, Karate South Africa hosted their annual general meeting on the 23rd of January, 2022 at the OR Tambo City Lodge in Johannesburg. Their last election was in December 2020, and the next election will be hosted in 2024. In the 2022-2023 financial year, the Federation scheduled an AGM for the 19th of March, 2023. So that's next week, Madam Chair. And here they will present their annual presidential and their audited financial statements. Next slide. The financial support in terms of what the department has provided to karate for the 2021 financial year, it was 1.4 million rands. The support was earmarked for the following priority areas: capacity development programs, women's karate, and the development of youth coaches, referees, and technical officials. In the 2022-2023 financial support that was provided in that year, and that's in the current financial year, Karate South Africa has been allocated an amount of 3 million rands, and 480,000 rand goes towards the administration, and the remaining 2.520 million for the implementation of the following projects: coaching development, referees development, administration skills development, development tournaments, and women's karate. Madam Chair, this is some of the major, the summary of some of the major achievements that have been reported to us by Karate South Africa. They hosted the national tournament in March 2022 in Durban. They also hosted their national leagues in 2022, April 2022 in the Free State. They participated in the region's South African Continental Championships in May 2022 in Durban. And at that event, they accumulated 160 medals. They also participated in the Annual Classic in June in Gauteng, and also in Cape Town in June, from the 11th to the 12th of June. They've hosted the Provincial Development Championships in August in Gqeberha, and the National and Provincial Women's Cup in August in Gqeberha as well. They've also participated in the Commonwealth Karate Championships in September 2022 in Birmingham, and they won 4 gold medals. And those are the streams of medals that they won, the kata and kumite. The All Africa Championships took place from the 30th of November until the 4th of December. They participated in that, and in that competition, they were placed 6 out of 25 countries. And that, Madam Chair, is the overview from the department in terms of the funding we've given them and in terms of the report that they have provided us to indicate where those funding streams were allocated to. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, DDG. Can now give a chance of Karate South Africa that the leader of the delegation must introduce themselves. I thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, and to all other esteemed participants on the forum. Thank you, Mrs. Khan, for highlighting the achievements of Karate South Africa over the past period under review. My name is Sunny Pillay. I'm the president of Karate South Africa, and I serve on various international forums as well. I am delighted to introduce our delegates that are participating on this forum this morning. First and foremost, we have Mr. Sydney Ohane from Gauteng, who is the Vice President of Karate South Africa. He is physically challenged in that his eyesight is very limited. So when he does come on to present, we need to exercise some patience with him. We have Mr. Chuck Gumede, who is with the Department of Education, KZN Legislature. He is an executive member of Karate South Africa. We have Melanie Dragonar from Mpumalanga. She heads up our para karate component, and she's also an executive member. Our treasurer is Mrs. Lakram, who is the financial director of the Goodison Corporate, and she looks after the financials of Karate South Africa, Madam Treasurer Lakram. We have Leonardo Chuti, who unfortunately is busy in a director's meeting today, but will join us when his time to present arrives. He is our Secretary General. The head of our technical affairs is Brando Shihan, and he will highlight much of the development in the technical areas of our organization. I'm very pleased that the portfolio committee has shown relevance with regards to Karate South Africa and the work we are doing in the sports arena. Thank you. Madam Chair, I now hand over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Honorable members, have you put Mr. Pillay?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you flighted your presentation?
No, I've just introduced the delegates. You asked me
Yes,
to
that's what
introduce
I'm
our
saying.
team. I've done that. If you want me to continue with the opening remarks, I'm happy to do that.
We just not wanting open remarks. We want you to flight you can do that.
Oh, certainly. Mrs.
Yes,
Lakram will
yes.
do that for us, Madam Chair.
Thank
Mrs.
you,
Lakram
thank
has
you.
got the slides.
You can at the end of the meeting say something. Let's just start with the input
Slides.
of you. Yes, because we want even the DM, whilst still with us, to get the gist of our discussions. Thank you so much.
Certainly. Madam Lakram will run through the slides with us.
Thank you, Mr. Pillay.
You're most welcome, madam. God bless you. Thank you. Shani Lakram. There you are. If you need me to talk you through it, it's fine. But if you're just looking at it, that's also great.
Do so.
Sorry, just give me a moment.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Mr. Pillay, can you see, Mr. President, can you see the first slide?
Yes, it's
Right.
we are seeing.
That's what it says.
All right, great. I will direct the slides on behalf of Karate South Africa, and the various speakers will be talking on the slides. Mr. President, over to you.
I've introduced the delegation. In terms of the overview, Madam Chair, do you want me to speak about the overview, or you want us to just focus on running through the slides for the time being?
Can you say something on your overview?
Okay. Respected colleagues and officials of the Portfolio Committee, allow me to first mention a cliche that we live by, and that is karate is just not a sport, it's a life skill. It is played across the board, equally with males and females, and it could be practiced by a young child at the age of 4 and by a great-grandmother at the age of 88. And we have those kind of participants currently on the karate stage. When somebody applies to me as a karate teacher and says, I want to bring my child to karate, first thing I would ask is, how old is the child? And then if she says he's 3, I'll say, can you wait for a year? We will take him when he's 4 years old. In terms of elder age groups, we have no limitations. The global footprint, karate is the second largest sport globally. This is as per a survey that was carried out by the World Karate Federation. The first, of course, is soccer, the beautiful game. Karate is practiced in every corner of the world because it's a cost-effective sport. It can be practiced with the barest minimum in terms of uniform and equipment. Affiliation and membership, as you see, we are, of course, recognized by DSAC. We are members of SASCOC, one of the national federations, since inception. We are members of UFAC, which is the All Africa Continental Body. As a matter of interest, I sit as the Vice President of All Africa as well. We are members of the World Karate Federation, very recognized and respected. And we are positioning ourselves for a major event under the auspices of the World Karate Federation, and it could perhaps be the World Youth Cup. And that could happen in 2024, 2025. I am busy with very delicate negotiations. And 2 days ago, I met with the president of SASCOC and asked for his blessings, and he readily availed them. We are part of the Commonwealth Karate Nations of the world, which currently is 45 nations amongst their 52 Commonwealth countries that are practicing karate and members of the Commonwealth Karate Federation. As a matter of interest, I'm president of the Commonwealth Karate Federation, and I'm in my second term. I was elected in 2018, and I was elected once again for a second term in Birmingham after the Commonwealth Games in 2022. In terms of the KSA membership, as you see, 300 affiliated clubs across the country, 14,000, 15,000 affiliated members, 10,000 non-paying, which basically means they are subsidized by Karate South Africa because they come from the previously disadvantaged, underprivileged areas, townships. So when it comes to townships and children from the less fortunate communities, Karate South Africa is always ready to extend a hand. We are in all 9 provinces of the country, and of course, 52 districts. I must add that some of the districts are non-functional, but they're work in progress, because it's always a challenge with districts because of the logistics, financials, etc. But we are focused on those regions that need, or districts that need help. Recognition, we are recognized by the IOC through the World Karate Federation, who are the official governing body for karate in the world, World Karate Federation, or WKF as we know them, and they have a very healthy relationship with the IOC. As you know, karate was played on the Tokyo 2020-2021 stage. We're fighting now for Los Angeles. We are in the Youth Olympics that's taking place in 2026 in Senegal, Dhaka. As we said, karate is not just a sport, it is a life skill. And you know, all the various ingredients like discipline, respect, self-defense are very much top of our agenda. Major tournaments, I am very delighted to announce that we hosted last year the SADC Country Championships, which is Southern Africa, well supported and a major success. We also hosted the biggest and the best Africa Championships ever. Generally, the Africa Championships attracts about 18 to 20 countries. Well, I'm pleased to tell you that we hosted 30 of the African countries across the diaspora here in the Kingdom, KwaZulu-Natal. And it was, the buzz was karate for 1 week in Durban. We filled up the hotels and we brought hundreds of people here, and they were very, very pleased. And I must tell you that the Vice President of the world was our chief guest of honor, World Karate Federation Vice President, Mr. Bashir Sharif from Tunisia. And he said, Mr. President, you have to make a big Africa Championships here. And I said, why? He says, because you have everything in South Africa. They were very, very bowled over by the ICC facility, by the way. Development is work in progress, Madam Chair and respected colleagues. We are constantly refurbishing, if you like, the teams of coaches and referees, table officials, administrative officials, with new blood, younger blood, might I add, and we're taking serious cognizance of transformation in particular and gender equity. Social responsibility, gender-focused, senior citizen self-defense. We do that all the time. We just did a major program for over, I think, 200-300 females in Pietermaritzburg, KwaZulu-Natal, from an old age home or homes in the Pietermaritzburg area. So karate awareness campaigns in non-urban areas, that's being constantly undertaken. We have open youth days programs. The focus of karate, I have to add, at this moment in time, if we look at our membership, it's 60% youth, 40% adults. So I'd like to think that we're in the right place and ensuring that the future looks bright and promising. We have international appointments as well. Many of our members, our officials, are serving internationally. I'll just highlight some of them. We have Mr. Leonardo Chuti and Mrs. Lakram serving on the Region 5 Southern African structure. We have Mr. Rhoda, who is Llewellyn Rhoda from Western Cape, who is the member of the Referees Commission of All Africa. We have Assistant Secretary in Region South. We have the Treasurer of the Commonwealth in Mrs. Lakram. She's the Treasurer of the Commonwealth Karate Nations Federation. And we have Russell Sims, who's also serving on various refereeing structures in the African continent, both regional and continental. So our technical officials and our administration officials have made their presence felt internationally. Para Karate for the visually impaired, wheelchair, intellectually impaired is an ongoing program. At the moment, I would like to say that Para Karate is a demonstration sport for Karate South Africa, with a view to making it a full-blooded competitive sport. The challenge we have is producing specialized referees, judges, to judge Para Karate, because Para comes in so many different forms. As we said, visually impaired, wheelchair, intellectually impaired, and the referees have to be well-grounded, grounded, trained to be able to understand the difference in terms of the performances. So therefore, at this moment in time, even in the Africa Championship that we hosted in Durban, Para Karate occupied a demonstration status. But the general comment from spectators and visitors, officials, is they're very impressed with the demonstration these para athletes exhibit. Thank you. Mrs. Lakram, the next slide. Funding has always been a challenge. We're always fighting for funding. I want to make it very clear in a very humble manner that all our officials, the 9-member committee, executive committee, we have a 9-member executive committee, we have a president's council of the 9 provincial presidents, all work as volunteers. They do not get paid a single cent. It is the love and the passion that they have for the sport that comes through with flying colors. Nobody gets paid. Whatever funding we get from department is used to administrate and develop the sport. Logistics, very challenging. South Africa is a very big country. Unlike Europe, where you can get onto a bullet train and you can go from Austria to Switzerland in a few hours. for us to go to Cape Town. We had just had a team hire some I-10 buses and went to Port Elizabeth. Well, they left Port Elizabeth at 1 o'clock on the Sunday and arrived in Durban at 4 o'clock in the morning, Monday morning. These were referees that traveled by bus. So it's always a challenge because we have a big country and geographically we are far apart. Therefore, taking karate to the people and having events in all different parts of the country is very challenging indeed, but we are putting our best foot forward. We need equipment, we need apparel, but with the kind of funding that we got this year for this, which we just received, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, thank you to Madam Sumaya Khan and her team, DSAC. I want to say that we're in a much healthier position now to start making available equipment and apparel. And also venues. We did an event at a venue recently in KZN, and we found that the roof looked like it was collapsing. So we got to start looking for safe and proper venues going forward. In terms of the schools, it is very clear that schools haven't made karate a priority sport. We get into schools as a matter of interest after hours. So halls are hired, a rental is paid, and then our senior instructors are conducting classes in schools. But it's after hours. We are not a priority sport as far as school is concerned. Hence, funding for school sports is very hard to come by for development. But I am a very strong advocate, and I think Mrs. Khan would know this, for karate being a compulsory sport in school, like it is in the Oriental world. And therefore, I have in my own way, or in the past decade in particular, made strides to approach the Department of Education. And we are struggling, but I remain optimistic that we will make the breakthrough, especially given the scourge of juvenile delinquency, violence in schools. And I do believe that karate can play a vitally important role in eradicating or lessening the level of violence in schools. And we see now what is happening in the universities, etc. And I do think that karate is an excellent catalyst to provide the discipline for the youth, including university students, so that we don't damage the facilities we have, although we may have grievances, and perhaps find a better disciplined way of expressing it. So therefore, we're always on the back foot with regards to school sport. However, I think Madam Treasurer has got a plan as to how we are going to approach it. It will come up in a slide as we go forward in this presentation. With regards to opportunities to increase karate footprint in schools, Madam Treasurer, would you like to talk about that while I take a break?
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning to everyone on this platform once again. Just to conclude on what Mr. President has said with regards to increasing the opportunities, the footprint in schools, this is an extract from Stats SA. If we look at the various provinces, we can see that Gauteng is leading with 16 million population estimates, and Northern Cape being the very bottom at 1.3. So basically, we are saying that the population from 5 years to 19 years is immense for karate to be put into schools. We have a plan, which I will discuss later on, with regards to how we want to implement the plan. But from here, we can see that there is an opportunity. There is a great opportunity for us to now put karate into schools. And that is what this whole presentation is about. But I will talk to you more on that a bit later when it's my time. I will call on our VP, Mr. Sydney Hohane, who is, as the president said, a bit challenged. So we ask for a bit of patience, where he will take you through the vision and the mission of Karate South Africa. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, honorable member. Yeah, my name is Sydney Hoyane, the Vice President of Karate South Africa. I'm physically challenged. I'm a blind man. People can be worried how a blind man practices karate, but it happens. Well, our mission is Karate South Africa. It's a member of World Karate Federation. That is a member of the IOC. KSA is also the recognized structure that is representing karate by SASCOC. And then to promote karate in all spheres, to develop karate and to regulate karate in its practice. So it also has the duty to advance and growth the karate practice in all spheres, like schools and other means, by means of karate clubs and all that. As a member of SASCOC, SASCOC will always mother karate, because karate is one of the sporting codes of SASCOC, by regulating karate and also giving assistance in tours in and outside South Africa and arranging matches for international fraternity. However, karate as a member of the World Karate Federation, KSA also has that. We follow direct principles and precepts of the World Karate Federation, that is a member of the IOC. However, since the president has alluded, Karate South Africa always depends in terms of funds by affiliation from its members, and also the Department of Sports and Rec provides some assistance, some assistance to karate for the existence of the sport. And also by having affiliation by all its members. The advancements of karate as provided by KSA will also assist in schools by providing such conducive benefits of schools, especially children, such as one, everybody knows that karate teaches discipline and respect. And also it builds reflexes to stand up against threats. As we know, there are abusive children, and you stand against abuse. It helps children to be confident, and to have leadership skills, and it develops character and encourages self-discipline. The benefit is also, again, it promotes healthy body and weight. And it also offers multiple choices. So if a child practices karate, we all know that children can be morally out of line. Karate brings that good morals into children advantages. And It also provides respect within the household, much as children will need to be respectful at schools. Karate provides that, and it also helps the teacher for children to be very much focused. It also assists the child to be more intellectually advanced. However, Karate South Africa as a national federation is found to have its own structures formed in this following way. There's a karate school, a member will join a karate school, and that karate school will affiliate to the respective region. And the region will also affiliate to the province. The province will affiliate to the national structure. As our voting also goes in the following. The regions votes for the clubs in a region will vote for the leadership of the region. And then the leadership of the region will therefore vote, have elections to vote for the leadership of the province. And the provincial structures will also have the vote to elect the national structure that will represent karate in South Africa. And hence the president of Karate, the Honorable Sani Pillay, has been elected. He was democratically elected, and as everybody in karate who practices karate cannot be discouraged for not standing for any election. However, people win by more democratic nature. In this regard, I'll have to end it there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. VP.
Yes. Is it
Okay.
all? Mr. Pillay, is it all?
Not yet, Madam Chair. We still have a few more to go through.
Okay.
So that's the structure. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, yes, we do.
Yes. May I say that that is our organogram, Madam Chair, with the executive members. That's the full executive from around the country. And it also talks about the portfolios that people hold. And we are trying our best to ensure that transformation and gender equity prevails at any cost. May I ask you to go to Secretary General? Is he with us, Madam Treasurer?
He sends his apologies, Mr. Press, but I will take over
Go ahead.
on his behalf. All right, so basically, our aims and objectives in summary, on behalf of Karate South Africa, as the VP has alluded, we get memberships. We want to promote to increase our memberships in terms of a little bit of funding that we get from them. We want to encourage the formation of clubs, hence increasing the membership. We are totally compliant in terms of following the rules and regulations of our mother bodies, as well as our governing bodies, as well as the WKF, which is the World Karate Federation. We follow their statutes, their rules and regulations, their policies and procedures. In terms of our financial management, we follow good corporate governance. We have annual general meetings. We have externally audited, unqualified financial statements. And then to generate our revenue, we try to raise sponsorships and hence fund the activities that we have. We have a whole set of tournaments. We set a calendar in the beginning of the year. We had a whole set of tournaments run at all the provinces in all different regions. And the team goes out there in order to help facilitate the expense of traveling from one province to another. So if the athlete lives in Cape Town and they can't come to Gauteng, we take the tournament through to Cape Town so that they have the opportunity to compete on the tatami, which is the arena. With the funds that we get, we try to get equipment and develop our resources so that we can run an event or a tournament at the most professional level we possibly can. And the focus of this presentation is for us to now, with your assistance, guidance, and blessings, to try to institute karate as a school sport. And the next few slides are going to actually advise or present to the platform how we can do that and what we require from you in terms of your assistance and your blessings on how to make karate a school sport. I will now hand over through to the technical director and the head coach to go through the next few slides in terms of our implementation plan and how we see karate going into the schools.
Thank you, Madam Treasurer. I appreciate your input and I would like to take this forward. So good morning to every member that is on this portfolio committee meeting. The three pillars of the school sport are physical education. We have a lot of instructors who are currently teaching in schools and are continuously trying to get it into a school as a school sport or as a school activity. But that doesn't seem to be happening. And we would like to push the agenda to have qualified people coaching. You have a number of karate instructors who are teaching in schools, but are not qualified people in terms of physical education qualification, safeguarding policy qualification, regulated coaches who have the proper qualifications in terms of first aid, and more especially people without a criminal record and people who are physically sound and a sound of mind. We have a lot of coaching that is going on where athletes are being affected or scholars are being affected by people who are not of sound mind, who do not have proper police clearance and are not properly trained. So we would like to have our coaches to go into the schools and coach the athletes with a view of getting them involved in proper physically educated training programs at school championships and at school levels. When we have the athletes trained and they are able to perform at a provincial level, we will have a provincial schools championship with a view of moving them through to the national championships. We have tried a school national championships last year in 2022, which was a huge success in the Wynberg region of Cape Town. And we had approximately 12 schools that participated in that event with approximately 200 participants. And we would like to grow that number to as many as possible participating in our events, because we have mass participation, which is at the back of our mind, and also to rid us of juvenile delinquency. So aside from the competition aspect, we have the self-defense aspect that also comes into play. With the facilitation of the national championships, we then would like to run a school league program where the schools will compete with one another on a bi-monthly basis across the various provinces of South Africa, and with the view of having a league championships where the champions of each province or the champion school of each province kind of goes into a Champions League scenario, where that will then entail the top schools being selected to go to the World Youth Cup in Croatia, which is one of the biggest events that is hosted by the World Karate Federation, where the 2,500 of the world's youth meet in Croatia, interact and exchange their details and become lifelong friends as well as lifelong competitors. The massive support in terms of the Karate South Africa athletes comes from the high schools and primary schools in South Africa and filtered through into the seniors, where we have them now trying to qualify for Olympics and Youth Olympics, etc. So we need to hone those talents and catch them whilst they are still rough diamonds and polish them into quality karateka who can challenge at the world level. So that is the program. We would like to take them from school into a provincial championship, through to national, and then into a league. The rollout program and the structure at schools will be the national executive, which will oversee this portfolio and obviously be coordinated by myself. And then we will have a national coordinator who will be appointed for schools karate specifically. The 9 provincial coordinators will then facilitate and will report back to the National Coordinator for Schools Karate. And that will filter down through to provincial and district level. So it will start at district, it will move up to provincial, onto the national coordinator, who will then be overseen by the national executive and myself as the technical convener. That is the current structure that we are using for our coaches. That is the current structures we are using for our referees. And that is the structure that we would like to implement into the school at district level, provincial level, and at national level. I would like to ask my head coach, Mr. Nicodemus Banyane Sensei, to please elaborate on the slides that are up now in terms of the rollout program. Shia Nicodemus.
Thank you, Mr. TC. Greetings to the Cabinet F1 here. I'm Sensei Nicodemus Banyane from Free State. When it comes to the slide, it is in place now. When you're looking on our weaknesses, that's are currently we are facing in the grassroots. It's mass participation. Let me say it in short like that. We don't have a mass participation programs that is happening from the grassroots in the schools, because mostly karate is not supported by Department of Education, and it's not one of the priority sporting code that are taking part in the mass program. But if you check even previously the karate in South Africa, it was one of number second after the soccer. That was more popular sporting code. And even if you check in the football now, the people that are playing the football, majority of them, the 80% of them, they played karate before they can even go to the football or other sporting code. But the support from Department of Education in promoting sports is one of our weaknesses, so that we can have a proper rollout of mass participation. Looking again on that, the sports, the schools now are now taking part, or they're getting in until 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Most of the athletes, they don't have an opportunity to go and practice sports in the township, at the halls, or in the other places. The opportunities is those athletes that are in schools, and the sporting code are also in school. So those athletes are getting opportunity to, those students are getting opportunity to participate in that level. So that is our weaknesses then, which we think that if we can work on that one, then it can help us more. Our strength, karate now in some of the rural sporty townships and on other schools in where we think we have challenges now. We're starting to attend to that one, and it's helped the schools a lot on come to the behavior of the athletes, the attitude, and the mass participation, the energy, to channel the energy of the athletes in the correct way. Then we think by teaching karate in this course is one of the most, so I think our today. Karate, as our strength is, we already have now 60% karate in schools now. That's why we even have the tournaments, the school tournaments. The last day it was in Cape Town, where we had the school tournament, but it is not structured, because now every national or the provincial organization or federation can just send the athletes. There is no structure, but there is a competition that we already started to make sure that we promote the karate school, and the school can also have the athletes representing their school. And now the provinces are starting to also do the awards to honor those schools then. The challenge that we have now is the funding on schools, because when the athletes has to go and whatever, the competition and the other things that need to do, then there is insufficient funding, and the parents also are not supporting kids that much, because the school does not put enough emphasis or effort to encourage the parents to prioritize the sports. Then I think that is one of the threats that we have is we're losing the coaches because the coaches, they don't have work to do. They have the skill, they have the knowledge, they have developed the skill that they can do, promote somewhere and help the athletes, because some of them, they reach the level of the national tournament, international, represent them. But after that one, they cannot help or train karate anywhere else because of the schools that does not even allow them to do that. So we're losing them. We're losing the quality athletes that are supposed to be utilized and promote karate in schools. Karate, as we identified or said, it is WKF approved, which is the only sporting code recognized by IEC. Then it is our strongest one. Then our athlete does not only play sports just to play, but they are having opportunity to represent the country internationally in the recognized structure. And that is one of the opportunities that our athletes may have, and get the pro tiers and have the skill to defend themselves. And it also helps them to know how to self-defense, especially women and children that we are facing the challenges of gender-based violence and other matters that are affecting them. And they give them the confidence, they give them to read the opponents when it's coming, what to do and what not to do when. And I think that is one of the critical things that we need, and the karates have that, and it can help. Thank you, Mr. TC. Thank you, the committee.
Thank you, Sensei Nico. Madam Lakram, you can move through to the next slide. The integration of schools karate into KSA, we have a 3-year key. In year 1, we would like to have the 9 provinces participate, and we would like to add on an additional 5 schools with an additional 50 students each. There are 3 public schools, 1 rural school, and 1 IEB school. So that is our plan for year 1, to have 5 additional schools added on with 50 students. Of those 5 additional schools, we want 3 public schools, 1 rural school, and 1 IEB school, which we would like to carry into KSA. We have a program where we charge a very minimal fee in terms of affiliation, and we would like to also have a reduced cost in terms of their participation fees into the tournaments. And hopefully with the sponsorship that we are hoping to procure, we can actually have those athletes participate free of charge. In year 2, with the 9 provinces, we would like to adopt an additional 5 schools, an additional 50 students, 3 public schools, 1 rural school, and 1 IEB school. And after the year 1 of training and proper preparation, we would like to introduce competition formats from district level into provincial and then through to national. In year 3, from the 9 provinces, we would like to have an additional 5 schools on with additional 50 students, 3 public schools, 1 rural and 1 IEB school. And we would like to stage ranking competitions or ranked competitions with a view of getting pro-tier athletes from the championships that we host. And we would like to have full-time coaches in schools to conduct to conduct free lessons to all the athletes. And not only just coaches, but qualified coaches who are qualified in taking people to the next level. It's like trying to say to somebody, I want to play for, or somebody, an athlete says, I want to play for Bafana, and they go outside the yard and they just kick a football. There's no structure to it. And in order for him to go through to Bafana, he has to go through the process and procedures. So likewise, we would like coaches who are actually going to take these athletes to the next level and prepare them in a manner in which we can hone their skills and guide them in the correct manner to get through to the international stage. The integration will be driven by the regional districts within which each school resides in. The multidisciplinary teams of coaches and administrators will be appointed at each district level with the oversight by the technical director, which is myself, and the assistance of our head coach. With regards to the funding, I would like to hand over to our treasurer, Madam Lakram.
Okay, thank you, Mr. TC. So this slide is an extract again from Stats SA with regards to the different provinces, the difference in public school and independent schools, the learners that we have, in public schools and the number of schools that we have in the regions. And then in the independent school, the learners that we have in the provinces, 735,000 against 2,282 schools. So the point of the slide is the opportunity is there. We've got a lot of schools that we can target in the areas to now start implementing karate in the school. So we're not falling short of having a decrease in schools where we can't go and reach out to them. Now I'm going to talk about the treasury side and the budget side. So as the TC alluded, in the first year, we want to target 5 schools, 50 students per school. And then the startup costs we have, well, basically the budget is broken up into your operating costs and your startup costs, 38% being your operating cost and 62% being your startup costs. In year 2, we add on another 5 schools, another 50 students, which now means we've got 10 schools to deal with and 100 students to work with. Our operating costs will change. Our startup costs will also be 46%. However, we will have some sort of startup costs from the first year, which we can use in the second year. Hence, the budget will now be reduced for year 2. Similarly, echoing the same in year 3, we will plan to add on another 5 schools, which means over 3 years, we'll have 15 schools with 150 students. Our startup costs, because every time we add on a new school, we will need startup costs. That's for year 2 and year 3. And then your operating costs in year 3 is 44% against the startup cost is 54%, and the introduction of competition takes up 12% in year 3. In year 2, competition takes up 7% of the budget. Now, bear in mind, also part and parcel of this budget is also the fact that we can create job opportunities for the coaches. So basically, if you're looking at a rural and underprivileged area, if Karate South Africa has a coach in that area, we now employ that coach. We can now be able to pay them a stipend to now go into the schools with their knowledge that they've attained over the years. They can now go into the schools and start teaching or train the trainers or train the athletes to actually start practicing karate. So in my budget plan, I've got the operating costs as well as the startup costs, and I've also got costs for travel of the instructors, a salary that we can pay them. That's now creating employment within the rural areas, within the previously disadvantaged areas, that we can now assist our coaches as well. So that's the plan for year 1. Year 2, as I mentioned earlier on, we add on another 5 schools. We've got travel costs, and we've got costs for salaries for paying the instructors to go and teach, hence creating employment. And then with the competition costs come into year 2, where we now have to kit the athletes with the what we call gis, which is your karate suit. We need to buy mats, which are called tatamis. We've got a higher venue. We provide meals. We have to have the required equipment so that they don't injure themselves. We have gloves. We had foot and shin protectors, and that will enable them to now participate in competition. And then in year 3, similarly, we're creating more job opportunities for instructors. We can, instead of an instructor going, or a coach rather, going from Gauteng to Northern Cape to teach karate, if somebody is based in Northern Cape, we give them a little bit amount of petrol money so that they can now go to those schools and become part and parcel, hence increasing the economy as well. And then in year 3, the final level is final competition level, with the view to taking them to achieve Protea colors, to represent the country, and to drive them and teach them and train them to get South Africa medals. At the end of the day, that's what all sporting codes wants to see. They want to see the athlete bring back medals to our country to make us proud. So in order to do that, we need to groom them from the early stages. We need to train them from the young stage. And this is the training and the vision that we have in order to uplift the athletes from grassroots levels, taking them right up to become a Protea athlete to perform on a world stage where they can bring back medals for country. That concludes my Treasury presentation. And I'll finally hand over to the President to do the conclusion, and then we will taper off from our side. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair, I'm back again. Thank you, Madam Treasurer, for highlighting the structure of school sports that karate and South Africa envisages for the future. Madam Chair, be rest assured, we are extremely serious about sports in schools, karate, taking karate to schools, for the very important reason that we draw our athletes from the huge reservoir that is prevalent in schools. That's where our membership comes from. And as I said earlier, 60% of our participants in championships, coaching programs, development programs are all from schools. And therefore, we have no option but to stay very focused on taking karate into schools. I am very hopeful that the Department of Education, and that's why we have Mr. Chuck Gumeda with us, who is an official in management with the Department of Education, KZN legislature. And I'm sure with the help of SASCOC and DSAC to a large extent, we'll be very successful in ensuring that our sport, karate, becomes very vibrant in schools. I said before that karate is globally the second largest sport in the world, with 203 countries currently affiliated to the World Karate Federation. I was told that
what's going on? Mr. Pillay, are you having load shedding? Are you having load shedding, Mr. Pillay?
Loi, loi.
Eloi, Eloi. Honorable members, also he was doing a conclusion comments. So can honorable members now, I can say that, can we thank the department and the Karate South Africa with their presentation. We did get your presentation in time, and we allowed you to do what you are doing, that you talk to your presentation, and we are happy that you used your time efficiently. Can I take now the deliberations from honorable members? I'm seeing the two hands so far. Honorable Zondi. The next one, Honorable Adams. The third one, Honorable Malomane. The fourth one, Honorable Van Dijk. The fifth one, Honorable Mshongo. According to the hands which are in front of me, can I give it to you, Honorable Zondi? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning to you, the honorable members on the platform, our guest and the department. Chair, I agree with President Pillay that karate is a life skill. I was doing a karate in high school, and it's true. My sensei taught me to use my instinct or this thing of sixth sense, and to protect my face. It is a life skill. I was involved in many fights after high school, but nobody touched my faith because of the basics I learned from my sensei in high school. But it is true that the department is not prioritizing the sport code. Even the department is not giving much support or prioritizing the sports code. It is true. I've seen many dojos involved in discussion with so many centers around the province of KZN in particular. They are crying in one voice that they don't get enough support from our government in terms of resources to develop a karate. But one Chair, I just want to highlight that first before I ask question. But Chair, welcome the presentation, and we note that this is a stable federation, of which we comment the structure for that. I would like to know, why has the federation not been audited by the eminent persons group? How does the federation monitor transformation, access, and inclusivity in sport? Chair, South Africa is notorious for crime and gender-based violence.
You don't listen when you put.
Why is the department not investing more into the sport of karate, given a need for society, more especially women and girls who learn self-defense through the sport? This will enable them to learn much crucial skills to defend themselves in dangerous situations, like in particular in black townships, where most of these notorious crimes are happening. Chair, will the federation provide the committee their audited financial stable? I heard that I've learned that they will be audited next week. And are they going to provide us with the financial statement when they are done with that? The last one, Chair, for now. We've noted that there is a decline in karate structures in general. Is it because of lack of funds to publicize, or is it because of the neglected sports code as they highlighted? Because no donors of the sports code, Chair. But at the same time, Chair, I don't know whether the sports code is one of the few or the only one with the small budget, Chair. Just a small budget. Our department was supporting the sports code with 1.4 million. I don't know whether there is any sports code in many that has been supported by such a small amount of money. We thank the department again for increasing from 1.4 to 3 million in the current financial year, but still small, Chair, when you look at the development and the vast of our country. If we are focused on the black township, because that is where our young people live, and that is where structures of karate should be enrolled to. An emphasis has been done in schools, but Black Township Chair is what I'm adding. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, but I didn't mute. I was disturbed. It's not easy to be in the house. I told them every day that they must not go to the kitchen making noise. I'm very sorry, honorable members. Thank you, Honorable Zondi. And now it's Honorable Adams.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Good morning to all on the platform, the Chairperson, the Deputy Minister, if she is still on the platform, the presenters, the staff, a very good morning to you. Chairperson, first I wanted to know, will we have a second round because it's Friday? And it seems that we will have a lot of clarity questions, but unluckily I have to raise my questions. Chairperson?
Honorable Adams, I can't respond on that question which you are raising.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Chair.
Until the time expired, I will be chairing until then. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Chair. Chair, my question, how is the Federation mitigating against challenges of lack of awareness of karate as a sport? To DSEC, how is DSEC ensuring that sports are considered as uncommon in townships as being exposed to communities? Does the Federation have any sponsors? And how easy or difficult is it to acquire sponsors for the sport of karate? How does Karate South Africa leverage its competitive players to promote and train upcoming players in historical disadvantaged areas? And then what is the extent of private sector support for Karate South Africa? Yes, Chair, I will stop there for now. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Adams. Honorable Malomane.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Greetings to everyone. Let me also welcome the presentation from the Department and Karate SA. My question, it will be based on the issue of gender, Gakul. The first question, it will be, what is the gender distribution of players, coaches, and referees in karate? The other one is that the department allocated 1.4 million to Karate South Africa for the development of the sport, including women in karate programs. How did the department determine the amount? Is the allocation sufficient? What is the target? And do they believe that the allocation will produce the desired results? The other one is that it has become clear that the national federations are grossly underfunded despite having the full responsibility to ensure transformation in sport. When will the department review its funding model for two national federations? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Malomane. Honorable Van Dijk.
Thank you, Chairperson. I'm going to put off my video. Thank you for the presentation. I have the following questions. Looking at the benefits of the sport, it is really the fact that karate is not included in an extracurriculum activity in schools or not formalized into the curriculum. That is actually, I think that would have benefited if it could have been done to contribute to include disadvantaged children from townships that cannot afford to participate, mainly because we have such a high unemployment rate and the need, as you mentioned previously, that there's a lot of extra costs involved to do the sport, like gloves, the karate suits, mats, etc. And I was just wondering whether, because there's such a lack of grassroots cooperation with the department and sports in general, whether there can be the department and Department of Sports can maybe look into this to see how we can maybe address something like this. And I was just wondering what the challenges would be in this regard. My second question is, I think a major issue in karate is that full contact is not part of the federation that manages karate in South Africa. And I know that SASCOC deregisters KZ Karate SA as a member for not in essence allowing full contact to be part of the federation, but this was lifted after the litigation between SASCOC and Karate SA. But now from my side, I want to know, to my knowledge, there has no further actually been taken to include full contact. So what I want to know in this regard is, what is the position of Karate SA as a national federation on full contact, and why, after all these years, is full contact not a part of the federation? And while you're now presenting your 2023-24 plans for development of karate in South Africa, how does your plans cater for the development of full contact? And what steps, if any, have you taken to include full contact in Karate SA as a separate umbrella body like Karate South Africa Full Contact? We are aware, or I am aware, that full contact organizations work with you, even though your constitution doesn't allow non-WKF affiliated organizations to be part of Karate SA. The reality of the matter is that those organizations are not allowed to participate in Karate SA. And the problem with this is that because full contact cannot is not included, they don't enjoy the same benefits which are currently enjoyed by World or by WKF affiliated clubs only, like provincial colors and Protea colors. So I think it's important that this should be looked into, and if I was wondering if you can give us a time frame, because as I understand, no Karate SA full contact competitors or competitions was held in South Africa as a national tournament, and no provincial tournament under Karate SA was held. That was that question. And then I want to know, you participated in a Commonwealth Karate World Karate Championship and in September 2022 and won 4 golds. I want to know whether you received any, the medal winners, did they receive any prize money, or did SASCOC contribute towards money for these gold winners, gold medal winners? That's my one question. And then I just want to, I'm just interested to know, I've read that Karate's biggest event will be held in Budapest, October 24 to 29th of October. And I just want to find out whether we are, South Africa will be represented, and if not, if there's any support for our, why not? If not, why not? And if there's any support for our athletes, and in what way? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Van Dijk. Honorable Mhlongo.
Chairperson, thank you very much. I welcome the presentation, and I welcome the teamwork by Karate South Africa. The presentation, it shows good they're united. And I think if you can have a federation like this when they come to us, but what is missing is finances. I think they must know to Guti, when they come and present, we need their financial statement to know exactly what did they do with the money allocated. I don't see that is lacking. But nonetheless, I think I want to concur with Babu Zondi that we must push for school sports. And I think the department must put more finances on karate for it to be prioritized as one of the sporting code. And I think for us to check a transformation, how does EPG, why is not EPG including transformation goals, sporting code like a karate? Because I'm concerned, and obviously karate plays a good part especially not only under 16 days against violence against women and children, but I've seen it playing part. I've been invited in several events in Gauteng and even in Durban. But nonetheless, I'm pushing for more money, pushing for more recognition, especially in school sports at the grassroots, Emakasi, township, rural areas. I wanted to find out from Mr. Pillay. Mr. Pillay, we are now going to talk issues that pertaining out of 52 districts, how many are actively involved? And can you give us a breakdown? How many are actively involved? What is the lack thereof of others which are lacking? And how can we improve that, even the participation, especially the district or the region? And tell us about Karate. I see your website. Your website was only updated last year. What is the cause? Is it due to finances? Why don't you update? Technology works, but to date, I went to your website, it's not updated, only updated since 2022. We are now in 2023. That was your last update. And I want to encourage Guti. I know that we have young people I usually see on the newspapers that are looking for amount plus minus 50,000 for them to continue participating in the karate circus, for them to qualify. What mechanism does Karate South Africa has to support all these young people who are looking for funding and support for them to participate internationally and locally? Why does Federation not being audited, especially, I think I'm repeating myself, especially audited by EPG? I think this is directed to the department. Why don't we look to that? How does the Federation, how are we monitoring the Federation as the department? Because we talk of diversity. Is it karate diverse or not diverse? And one of the things now, Mr. President, Mr. Pillay, we're talking politics within SASCOC and karate. I think you must be open to us. Yes, they recognize you, but you have a relationship with SASCOC that will make sure that we take karate to the next level. Why I'm saying this? Because please note that there's an issue regarding clubs, Karate South African clubs, to affiliate. There's a requirement that they must affiliate to you. I'm talking about independent clubs, that they must affiliate to you. There's a club rights to political affiliation, rights to association, and to voluntary affiliation to karate. What mechanism do we have for us to unblock these blockages? Because it seems like there's a process and procedures. There's a jurisdiction of privacy of privately owned karate clubs. Let's say you are privately registered, but there's an issue for you to register with SARS, issues for business registration, trademarks in karate. Those are the politics involving karate. I think this must be addressed. And can Mr. President tell us more exactly the rights of affiliation to athletes, who paid and those who are qualifying not to pay, both national and local teams? And I think I'm talking about athletes, minorities' rights in athletic karate sports or education, so to say. The club instructors, what are their requirements? The club instructors for them to qualify. It seems like there's this allegation and perception that there's a discrimination between the ages of clubs instructors who are between age 18 to 21-year-old. And there's this discrimination against political karate affiliation rights and to the association. Now, I don't want to go far. This is my last question. I think we have children's right. The discrimination against the rights to privacy regarding the crime recorded or not applicable to children's rights. What does it take, Mr. President, for us to note that? I think for now, Chair, I'm covered, but I want the President, when they respond, let them be honest to us with the relationship with SASCOC and the blockages that will make us, South Africa, especially our kids, to benefit in self-defense, in the skills that they've presented to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Mhlongo. can now ask Zoe to read the questions for Honorable Madlingozi.
Madam Chair, I seem to have lost Mr. Madlingozi's chat. I am trying to look for the questions.
Yes, because even myself, I didn't see, but everyone it's indicating that there are questions for Honorable Madlingozi. Whilst we are still looking, let me ask, or maybe because there are so many questions, let me say that my questions and Honorable Madlingozi will raise as other questions. Let me by now giving the Karate South Africa to respond, and then our department, and then we'll do follow-ups. I thank you.
Madam Chair, I think my president is having connectivity
No,
issues. I don't
I'm
see
on.
him on the boarding. Are you on? Okay.
I'm on. I can respond, Madam Chair. Thank you very much.
Everyone did take the questions, and then it's not only the president who must answer the question, you must share the questions as leadership, because this problem of network, if one is out, you must take over and starting to answer any question. I thank you.
I'm happy to respond, Madam Chair. I am connected. We did lose the connection for a while. Will you allow me to respond to some of the points that have been raised by the various speakers on the forum?
I was just asking that now I'm giving Karate South Africa to answer questions. So this is your right, and you
Thank
can
you.
do so, and you can share.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. My view with regards to karate in schools, in one sentence would be the powers that be perhaps Hello, Madam Chair. Am I still on?
Or are you in the one place? That's why you can't. Oh, I'm seeing now you're moving in and out. Can we start with the, can we start with the department whilst we're still trying to sort this problem? Or are you ready now, Mr. P?
I am ready now, Madam Chair.
No, we do hear you also. Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Right. So we are, whilst we have financial challenges, and we've always had financial challenges, because to administrate a national federation is a very costly business. To be able to provide management for teams that are traveling abroad is also an extremely costly business. Hence, given the kind of funding that we have received from department in the past, it's been the barest minimal, I have to say, and I am very encouraged by the grant that was made this year a few weeks ago. Now, we are pursuing very, very vigorously corporates and the private business sector in terms of partnering us on the way forward. Firstly, with projects such as social outreach programs that we do conduct from time to time, and we rely on resources from the private sector businessmen who make provision. For example, if we invite 1,000 children from informal settlements, which we do annually, we have catering companies who come and say, okay, we'll provide the food. And we have Gift of the Givers, for example, who we do share a close relationship with, who says, okay, we'll provide 1,000 T-shirts for the children. And you'll be amazed at how excited the children get when they get a full meal and also they receive a T-shirt. The big smile that we bring to their faces, it's quite amazing. With regards to, I've heard about restrictions of members joining Karate South Africa. Allow me to say that first and foremost, the doors of Karate South Africa under the auspices of the World Karate Federation remains wide open for any club that wishes to join the organization together with their members. However, the prerequisite is they have to respect the statutes of the world governing body, the WKF. Because if they don't, Karate South Africa will be this time expelled. We already have suffered 2 suspensions by the World Karate Federation, which SASCOC is very well aware of. And therefore, we tread very cautiously with regards to the full contact issue that was raised. Now, the February 2018 General Assembly resolution at SASCOC House was such that all karate will be recognized under the banner of Karate South Africa. All full contact component must be accommodated under MASA. That's the February 2018 resolution taken by the General Assembly of SASCOC. And the president of SASCOC is well aware of this. So that's where we stand. There is no question of us placing restrictions on anybody joining us, that is Karate South Africa. However, we are guarded by the statutes of the World Karate Federation. And therefore, there has been a situation where we have had to turn down some of the clubs that wanted to affiliate to KSA, very few, by the way, but we're not prepared to follow the statutes of the WKF that governs us. 34 regions participated in the General Assembly that voted Karate South Africa into power in December 2020. The elections was conducted by the president of the Sports Confederation of KwaZulu-Natal, Mr. Tami Mkunu, and it was observed and overseen by the president of SASCOC, Mr. Barry Hendricks. So 34 regions in 2020 was alive and kicking, as they say. However, we have 52 regions in South Africa, as far as I know, and we are focused on the regions that need attention, but it is work in progress. With regards to our website, we reviewed and refurbished and refreshed the website recently. And it is also work in progress because we strive for excellence as we go along. And we are playing around with new ideas with regards to the website so that it meets the standards of the modern day sporting organizations. And because we are pursuing corporates, we are very focused on our website, because if we attempt to talk to MTN or Vodacom or SAB, they will look they will take a peek at our website to give them an impression of who we are. Like the gentleman has gone and had a look at it. And therefore, we are striving to improve this website on a daily basis. We are not allowed to use the monies that we get as a grant from DSEC for traveling purposes, for teams particularly, and athletes and management. Therefore, as an amateur sports organization, unlike SARU and SAFA and Cricket South Africa, we don't have that kind of financial clout to pay for athletes to travel. We have never had an occasion where the cost of traveling for an athlete is 50,000 rand. So I don't know where that figure comes from. The cost of athletes who travel under the auspices of Karate South Africa to the World Cup in Croatia, the World Youth Cup, that is, and the World Championships and the Africa Championships, and of course, the Region 5 or Southern African Championships, well under 30,000 rand. And we do not pose ourselves as travel agents, Karate South Africa. Travel for Karate South African athletes is outsourced to a corporate travel agency. The only subsidy we afford the teams that are traveling is we pay for the general manager and the head coach, and we subsidize their assistants, and that the numbers of which depends on the number of athletes traveling. For example, if you have 10 athletes traveling, you need a general manager and perhaps a coach. If you have 20 athletes traveling, you need a general manager, his assistant, a head coach, and an assistant. And Mr. Banyana on this forum is somebody that is an authority on travel and tours of Karate South Africa, because he is the head coach traveling regularly with our teams that are participating in international major events. Of course, with regards to restrictions in terms of application to join Karate South Africa, first and foremost, allow me to emphasize that caste, creed, religion, color is totally not any thing that we would take into consideration, and is not part of the requirements to join Karate South Africa. What is part of the requirements is respect the WKF statutes, which is our governing body, which I've spoken about before. Ensure that you don't have a criminal record, and make sure you've passed a first aid test, the head instructor of the club that's applying for us. I want to emphasize, Madam Chair, that for the past 5 years now, we have a policy in terms of affiliation, which clearly indicates that 50% reduction in terms of cost is in place for clubs from townships, previously disadvantaged areas, and the less fortunate communities, clubs in the less fortunate communities. 50% reduction. We don't believe that we should be giving karate for free. That for me is important, because we would like it also to be appreciated that they now belong, whoever the dojo head is, has an affiliation to Karate South Africa, but we do allow a 50% subsidy in terms of the financial requirements for a club to join Karate South Africa from townships, disadvantaged areas, etc. Allow me once again to say there is no discrimination whatsoever with regards to affiliation to Karate South Africa. We respect children's rights, and I don't understand the issue that is being raised about children's rights. I was asked about our relationship with SASCOC. I have to admit, we have had our challenges with karate, with SASCOC previously, but since 2018, we enjoy, I'm happy to add, a very cordial relationship with SASCOC. And I met the president of SASCOC 2 days ago to discuss our current challenges that are prevalent, and also to seek his blessings with regards to our move to bring major World Karate Federation events to South Africa, because I believe that the whole world from a sporting perspective in particular, the spotlight is in South Africa. And I don't need to go any further, but to state that netball South Africa is hosting the World Championships in Cape Town. And that speaks volumes for the capacity we as a country have to attract major events. And the World Karate President is ready to bring major karate events to South Africa. And I am waiting to get our ducks in a row from a financial perspective. And I hope to land one of the corporates as a sponsor of Karate South Africa. So we can appoint a CEO, for example, and pay some of the officials for the hard work that they are doing on a regular basis to keep karate alive, well, and kicking. Activities, of course, we have regular tournaments, courses, we have a Protea Awards. Our the lines of communication are very much open, and we have regular championships and tournaments and meetings throughout the country. The national executive, as well as I see, and the organogram would have shown you that, is very conscientized with regards to gender equity and transformation. We have SAPS and USA, which is the universities, as you know, very alive and well, and members, active members of Karate South Africa. And we are very pleased to have them on board. And there is such a thing as a universities championships annually in this country. And the universities team under the auspices of the WKF and KSA regularly participate in the World University Games. And same it is for SAPS, but SAPS sadly has had financial challenges in their own territory, and they haven't been very active with karate on an international level at the moment because they don't have the financial clout to travel and participate. As a president, I've been on a road show of late, and I'm visiting various provinces. I've already been to Mpumalanga, Gauteng, Eastern Cape, and the Free State. And now my focus is on Limpopo and the Northwest province. Karate is being regulated on an ongoing basis with regards to Karate South Africa in terms of technical as well as political. We want to ensure that we are sound and we meet the standards that is expected of DSAC and SASCO. The WKF statutes are very, very stringent as a matter of interest, and we will not place ourselves and our membership at risk in terms of accepting affiliations of clubs that don't meet the WKF statutes. Now, we have also had a point raised about full contact by the good lady. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name, but ma'am, your point is well taken, and I want to ensure that you are aware that the resolution of February 2018 taken by the General Assembly of SASCOC gives clarity with regards to the current status quo regarding full contact. We believe that they are being accommodated by MASA, which is a sports entity under the auspices of SASCOC. However, we keep our doors open to any karate club that is prepared to respect the statutes of the WKF. In terms of our financials, as I conclude, Madam Chair, we have an unqualified AFS ever since I became president in 2011-12. We have never failed to produce an unqualified audited financial statement by external auditors, always being presented by Madam Treasurer, Mrs. Lakram, at our annual general meeting. Lastly, we are extremely conscientized into what the Minister of Sport constantly reminds us, and that is development, transformation, gender equity, safeguarding. We know that we have, to a large extent, people that belong to a sick society outside in terms of pedophile activities, etc. No question that it's prevalent in karate as well. And we are trying to weed out those kind of, and therefore we have requirements before, as a prerequisite before we accept karate clubs into the folds of Karate South Africa. During COVID times, we seized the initiative that was raised earlier in this discussion. We seized the initiative and conducted events with strict COVID protocols in place. So we ensured that the engine of Karate South Africa was still turning on all cylinders. And you will be amazed at how we got around the COVID protocols and had all our karate events in the various provinces with the strictest of COVID protocols in place. May I thank you, Madam Chair, for being patient, tolerant, and understanding in listening to me. I am still available to answer any other questions that are put to me. We have Mr. Banyane, who will be happy to talk about international tours. We have Mr. Sydney Ohana, the Vice President, who sent me a message. He wants to contribute to what I've just said. I am also offering them to you if you wish to have them on board. Thank you and God bless you.
I do want them to take the platform.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So let's ask Mr. Banyane to talk about his international tours and the composition of the team, the transformation factor of the team, and also the challenges he has when he's traveling with teams. Mr. Banyane Nicodemus.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Honorable. Let me first acknowledge that really I'm happy to see that the cabinet is recognizing that we really need help.
Can you
when it comes to
Mr. Banyane, show your face and switch off your mic, your video when you have shown your face. This is the best of kind that you're coming this year or anytime. We need to see your face, but because of load shedding, one just face and you can switch off. Honorable member.
I don't know if you can see me.
We see you. We do see you, Mr. Banyane. You can switch off. You can switch off now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I was saying it is we really have a serious challenges when it comes to the issue of attending international competition. We'll find out that we have selected our top athletes that has to go and represent our country. But currently, as I think Honorable Zondi has mentioned, that when he sees that sometimes the athletes are requesting the funds for sponsors and whatever, and 50,000 or whatever, it is a very serious challenge that we experience in karate, especially from the previous disadvantaged communities and athletes, including myself, because I come from.
I'm sorry, Mr. Banyane. Mr. Pillay, please switch off your video. Yes, switch your video. Because you have other people with you, switch off your video. Mr. Pillay. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry, Mr. Banyane. Okay, go on.
Okay, thank you. I was saying, including myself, before I can even retire as a participant, I experienced a very terrible years of even representing and making my country proud. I've ranked #1 since 1996. And then since then, I think I've missed a lot of tournaments, very, very tournaments that I was prepared to participate on them, but due to the finances we missed. We have seen this happening even now, currently in this years, where our own athletes that we have selected them to participate in international tournament, that they are not making the team, they are not going. And we end up now taking the second clubs that were athletes that are ranked the lower in the divisions, and that is a very serious challenge that we have. you will find that someone is ranked number 2 or number 3. So number 1 is someone who come from previous disadvantaged communities. Then he cannot afford to pay that money. Then he had to now to skip the tournament and now try again to go and participate somewhere. And the KSA is trying that very, very much to assist the athletes. Sometimes I remember when they're going to Turkey, Sandile Makwal was subsidized, and Kobas Pele for Germany was subsidized. A lot of other previous disadvantaged athletes, then KSA is trying so much to make sure that the team is transformed, and the athletes that deserve to go there, even when it's challenges, then they are supported and try to go. But unfortunately, it's not in all tournaments that we are successfully getting an assistant into that. But I can confirm that the karate is transformed. The only challenge when the team is announced, the initial team, if you can see the initial team, when we selected initial team, the first team that we send out to announce it, you will find that the team is very transformed. But when you see the actual team that goes to the international, you'll find out now the problem is coming there, because you'll find out now some of the very good athletes ranked number 1, top athletes that they cannot afford, and especially from previous disadvantage, they drop out, and now you find out the team is no longer as it was expected in the same place. But I think if the challenges that we have been raised and the funding, if it's available, our challenges, which is where we are facing now, it can be in history. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Banyana. Any other input?
Madam Chairperson, from the point of view of the athletes who are going to be representing us in Budapest, I would like to let the panel know that we have partnered with the Free State High Performance Center and Sports Science Institute to prepare our team, and we will have approximately 22 athletes that will be present at the World Championships in Budapest. As far as the refereeing component is concerned, and the transformation that we have in terms of gender equity, we are very proud that this year we have qualified 3 referees at a continental level for UFAC. That has never happened before. We now have 12 referees that are qualified at continental level. We have 3 referees at world level. We have 3 qualified coaches who are at the WKF, which is the highest level of qualification. One of them is Sensei Nicodemus Banyane, who just spoke. And we are hoping to double that number as we move through for the WKF World Championships in Budapest, and later on this year for the UFAC Championships. We have a gentleman by the name of Mr. Thabo Molobi, who has now been appointed as the first Black or person of color who has been appointed as the chief referee of South Africa. In the history of this country, there has never been a person of color who has become the chief referee of this country. And he has been appointed based on merit. Not only is he based on transformation, but also on a merited qualification, which he received at the UFAC Championship. And we are hoping that he will get his world qualification at the end of this year. I would now like to hand over to Shianchak Gumede, who will give you an overview of the full contact. Shianchak Gumede heads up the IKO organization. We have just concluded a meeting.
Point of order, Chair.
Yes, Honorable Shaw.
Chair, I want to sincerely apologize, but English is not my mother tongue. When you call a Black person a person of color, what do you mean?
Sorry, maybe
I want us to. We are in a new democracy. I cannot be called a person of color, or a man of color, woman of color.
I do apologize.
English is not my mother tongue. You have a president who's more than since 2022. Since 2012, he's a president. He's speaking about people of color in this dispensation. It's uncalled for, Chair. Unless English is not my mother tongue, I don't understand that.
Point taken. President is apologizing. Repeat, President, your apology.
Madam Chair, we sincerely apologize. Thank you, Madam Chair.
President, Mr. Pillay is still on the platform, Bonga.
I plead the Fifth
In terms of
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm Shuhani Bongan Kumete.
Chair, I did not hear the apology from Mr. Pillay. Apology.
Bongani, Mr. Pillay is still on the platform, please. I'll just give you a chance to talk, please.
Okay,
Please,
thank you,
Bongani.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Pillay.
apologize, Madam Chair, for an error of judgment. I plead the Fifth Amendment.
We can't hear you. What happened now? President, we can't hear you. What happened now? We can't hear you. We'll give you a chance to come back, President.
Madam Chair, can you hear me?
Yes, we do hear you now.
Madam Chair, I render an unreserved apology if for some reason or the other, the last contributor, speaker, has made an error of judgment. We never, as a sports organization, want to insult or express a derogatory term. My sincere apologies, unreservedly.
Apologies accepted, President. Let's now give to Ms. Bongani.
Bongani Gumede.
Okay, Bongani Gumede, Mr. Gumede.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you very much to give me this opportunity to speak, and all dignitaries that you have, from all Deputy Minister to our officials at Department. I just want to support my President. We are in full contact side. If I'm answering to Honorable Van Wyk, full contact's got different groups. And another different groups for karate, if I say groups, I mean styles. They refused to join Karate South Africa because in overseas, where their mother body, where they don't want to support what Karate Federation. Therefore, in South Africa, they don't want to be part of Karate South Africa. Our president tried many times to resolve the issue. The last meeting was in Coastland in Durban. And they used, before they do their presentation, because they asked from UKSA to come to do their presentation as full contact. When they came before the presentation, they fight each other, then they do walk out. It's not a truth that full contact is not part of Karate South Africa. We are the part of Karate South Africa. We joined Karate South Africa in 2018. Up until now, we are happy to be on the one roof because semi-contact side and full contact side are both the members of Karate South Africa in one structure. I just want to answer Honorable Van Wyk on that issue of full contact. And another styles of full contact are coming. I think now we are 5 coming to join Karate South Africa. We are happy. In 2019, we went to our own World Open Karate Tournament with 12 athletes. We have been supported, endorsed by Karate South Africa to be recognized, to get the colors to be respected in Japan. It's not true. They refuse, even if another option they given to try to go to MASA. MASA is another federation who will maybe assist them to join. They say they are not want to be MASA. They are not want to be KSA. They want their full contact KSA. In coming to Honorable Zondi, thank you so much, Mr. Honorable Zondi. for that good question of asking the department about the budget, because we are trying our best to do the programs, even that self-defense, but we're doing it in our own pockets and money. As I'm speaking, last week I was in Umhlabi Alingana. If you know Umhlabi Alingana, it's far away, far north, if you go to Mozambique. There we were working with Izinduna Makosi traditionally and mayor of Umhlabi Alingana to fight against crime, to fight even gender-based violence. With all community there, even schools were there, policemen were there, socials were there, Department of Health district were there to support this initiative of karate, but there's no support from spheres of the government. We are trying all our best. We are a useful tool to fight this. And even department, they know that karate is only sport to fight against gender-based, because this is a scarce skill. To self-defense is a scarce skill. You can't go to football to say, can you speak about gender-based violence? Because this self-defense, you must teach somebody to know how to defend them at the last resort. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. President, now there are still other questions which are outstanding to be asked. I'll start with the Honorable Madlingo's questions, and I'll follow with my questions. Ms. Zoleka, can you read for us the questions of Honorable Madlingo's?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. The first question is, since karate is a dangerous contact sport and Karate SA is concerned about lack of participation from various schools, what measures do they have in place to make sure that coaches and whoever is assigned the welfare of the school children have gone through vigorous screening into making sure that they are perfect for the jobs at hand? The second question is, what plans do they have to assist in generating finances to mitigate their financial challenges? What have they done to assist rural kids into taking part in this contact sport? And the last question, Madam Chair, is what is the organization's feeling about the lack of venues for karate to exhibit their sport and also spaces to practice? What about creating more marketing for the sport in the townships to curb drug abuse in the youth? Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. So, honorable members, let me raise my questions. I'm seeing that there are follow-up questions. I'm seeing about 2 hands which are up. According to the presentation from Karate South Africa, we are noticing as the committee that there is a challenge with the curriculum in schools, and we wanted to check what are the problems exactly, because some schools then in our days, there was no curriculum. We were just volunteered to go and get some skills in order that we must protect ourselves. But there were no curriculum per se. I wanted to check with the karate and with our department that are we still having that karate is not in the curriculum. Just now, the other question that the last questions which are asked by Honorable Madlingos, this question of self-defense to everybody, but it's worse with the women. We did hear even Honorable Zondi talking about the self-defense, that you can get enough skills. And maybe I can declare that in this committee and in this, we've got about some staff of this committee who has got about black belts of karate, and there are some whom you've just heard talking about sensei. No others, no one can know that there's something called sensei without having those skills. Maybe in some tertiary schools, in some high schools, there were priorities of giving everyone those skills. Like some of us, we don't have any belts, but we did get crash course of karate by some sensei in our high schools. You cannot just try and thinking that we cannot defend us. So today it's given that we are still far to have karate as curriculum, but we need to hear from your good selves. And maybe how are you going to tap department and maybe karate, how are you going to tap on the just declaration by the Motsepe Foundation that is given department, the Department of Education, those billions that will assist to our schools, Amakasi, Honorable Mhlongo, and rural. But also I'm suspecting as this committee, we need to do our oversight to assist our department, to assist Ukarati, to maybe to call our sister departments, honorable members, that basic education must come and share with us as this committee more information about what they are doing in the side of school sports, and maybe one other time we've asked about this thing of tourism. When Honorable Thokozile Xhasa was a minister, she was even trying to try that also e-sport can be in a way having ideas of being a developmental true business. So I've had yesterday and every day with the former minister and present DM about this development in this, that we must look at the business side. When you are looking there as a department, which means even this problem of sponsorship, starting with so many entities, like we were complaining and reflecting on Banyana, that there are no sponsorship, netball, there are no sponsorship. If we can strengthen this arm of making e-sport to develop business thing in order that we must assist. And then another question, I wanted to check what positive values does karate instill in its players, and how can karate South Africa demonstrate instances of such. And then I was happy when in your presentation, I was going to ask the question about physically challenged people, but now my question is saying that because one of the physical challenge presented to our good self, I wanted to check how many are they that are part of Ikarati, and also the other question which I'm suspecting that which I wanted to raise then, but the president indicated numbers. I didn't hear you correctly about how many women in your structure, but I did hear you when you quoting how many who are doing ABC. And then my last question, how does Karate South Africa ensure that these people with physically challenged are taking care, even if you are going abroad? Do you get what is this new government saying that in all areas of departure, in all buildings, we must have ramps that you must take care of? On those questions from me, let me take follow-up question, Honorable Mhlongo and Honorable Adams.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chair, I wanted to find out, can we maybe let them prepare a document on affiliation? I think it's an issue that we have to consider, because we have clubs that they want to affiliate, but the requirement, therefore, I think the question was not answered thoroughly. Now, can I ask, can they send us a document with the requirements to affiliate, to be part of the associate or affiliation, so to say? That is the first request. Secondly, can they send a constitution of Karate South Africa, their own constitution? You know, amazingly, I wanted to see terms of office. How long, when is their next AGM? And can they invite you, Chair, and maybe you'll send Obab Zund and myself, since we have a black belt on your behalf. They must send us an invite. When is their next AGM? You know, I wanted to find out, Mr. President, what legacy are you going to leave after serving Karate South Africa for 11 years as a president? 11 years. And are you intending to come back in the next AGM? Can we have the date of that AGM? And another issue, Chair, I think I was not sucking when I talk about 50.
On behalf of Black Karate belts, on behalf of
no, ngithi mina noBab Zondi sinama black belt awuyasinyatsa Chair. Ngithi Chair, I was not sucking the 50,000 rand. I think the gentleman from Free State, Bongane, I apologize, the actual name I forgot, concurs with me. There's a gentleman, it's on the media, Mr. President Bile, you're thinking of Damsak, you said it's less than 50,000 rand. You must Google, since your website is not up to date. There's a gentleman by the name of Jade. He needed approximately 50,000 rand to continue his participation on the 2023 Karate circuit, which Equal offers for him. He's looking for finances, 50,000 rand. I was not sucking. Now I'm saying, Guti, he was saying, where did I get it? I got it from Google. I Googled what are the latest issues, and this gentleman is looking for money for this year, participate in the circus. Now, you know, one of the things that we do, Mr. Pillay, we do our oversight work over you guys. And we don't just take figures out of hand and information. The affiliation issue, it's an issue, especially in Gauteng. I'm in Gauteng, I'm from Gauteng. We have private clubs which they want to affiliate. And the political issue that I've asked you gently, I'll repeat the question. You did not respond to my question directly. I said, the club rights for member or any club to associate or to affiliate, it's either voluntary to Karate South Africa. What are the requirements? And what is the blockage thereof? Because there is a blockage. And you are saying they don't want to affiliate. Give us an example of a club that doesn't want to affiliate if your constitution says he must pay X amount of money, they don't want to pay, and then we'll take it from there. And I was talking about Children's Act. I wonder if you understood my question regarding the Children's Act. I was saying there's discrimination. The first one, instructors first. You did not answer even this one. There's an issue against the age between 18 and 21 for instructors to participate. What is South Africa Karate SA doing about it? Or what is the status thereof on my question? The Act Children's Act, there's a discrimination against the rights to privacy regarding criminal records, not applicable to Children's Act. What is your view on that? Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you. I'll give you just now, Honorable Adams. As I was saying that in this committee also about two of our secretaries, secretary and content advisor, I'm getting this message. It was not flighted. Morning as an FYI, the Komura Shukokai International South Africa is hosting the 20th KSI Karate World Champs in Cape Town, in July 2023. I'm raising this because it would appear that not all styles of karate practiced in South Africa are represented by Karate South Africa. If this is the case, what are the challenges with regard to this situation? I'm doing this follow-up question because Honorable Mhlongo raised a relative question like this. And now can I give it to Honorable Adams?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, I only have two questions. The first one, what is the gender representation within KSA for officials, for example, the coaches, referees, etc.? And thanks, SK, for highlighting that as per the National Sport and Karate Amendment Bill needs to be regulated. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Now I'm going back to you, President. I'm suspecting even your good selves, you are happy that you are with us. You are seeing the interest of committee members, and we interrogating your presentation, and we're learning a lot. And after you have finished, I'll go back to our department. President Pillay.
Okay, Madam Chair, thank you. I am happy to respond. For us, Karate South Africa, under the auspices of the World Karate Federation, regulation, and regulation is priority, because we must meet the standards of the World Karate Federation, SASCOC, and also follow the statutes that they have set. In terms of what are we doing about raising funds, we are constantly approaching corporates, the private businesses, and local government. I'm happy to say at the last All Africa Championship that was hosted in Durban, the local government, the provincial office, and private businessmen assisted us to overcome the financial challenges so that we could manage the All Africa Championships in the best way possible and present a professional championships that made our country very proud. GBV is a scourge in our country. I think one of the speakers raised it. No question about it. We are conducting several self-defense free workshops on a voluntary basis, often by the Protea coaches. And be rest assured, Karate South Africa is in its own way attacking that scourge very vigorously. We work with social, economic challenged areas, women's circle, women's groups, and various other organizations that lead and represent women. Children from informal settlements, as you know, are extremely vulnerable. And for that, we conduct regular social outreach programs where we feed, we clothe, and we impart skills to them. The positive values you wanted to know as to what karate can do for its participants. You know, the great Madiba made a profound statement at the Laureus Awards. He said, sport has the power to inspire. Well, with our karate practice, the instructors, the role models, the instructors, teachers of karate are role models. And that's why we have very stringent regulations before a person practicing karate can be called a sensei or a teacher. So it has the power. Karate has the power to inspire, to motivate, and to give direction to the youth who often don't have any direction. And we certainly, as karate leaders, point our youth in the right direction. And the focus, once again, let me reiterate, is on the youth and youth development. Para karate is always in the spotlight, like in all other sports. As you know, SASCOC is very, very religiously focused on para sport. We are focused on para karate. And what we're doing, Madam Chair, is we are asking regions, districts, provinces to bring forth their para athletes whenever we have activities like regional, provincial, and national championships and training. That is development of the athletes, training at various like high performance centers, etc. So para karate is very much an integral part of our sport. I was asked about a legacy. First and foremost, I would like to make it very clear that I won 3 elections on a landslide basis. In the last elections, Madam Chair, there were 55 votes, of which I got 52. Mr. Barry Hendricks monitored that elections, and it was conducted by Mr. Tami Mkunu, the president of the Sports Confederation. The legacy that I'd like to leave is to ensure, having inherited a mess in 2011, as you probably may know or may not, the previous regime that ran karate in this country, due to a forensic audit report by Deloitte & Touche, were suspended. The entire executive was suspended. I'm proud to once again state that we produce an unqualified, external audited financial statement annually ever since I took the chair of Karate South Africa. So the legacy is we want to leave the organization in a very healthy state, and we want to ensure that we host, which is the prime focus at the moment, a World Cup in South Africa. Could happen in 2024, 2025. I would consider that a part of the legacy. And one of the things that is on the top of my mind and gives me sleepless nights is the fact that athletes have to pay for themselves to represent our country internationally. And I would like to believe that before I leave the chair or retire as an administrator of the sport, I would like to believe that we would want to be in a situation where we are able to subsidize or finance athletes who are traveling abroad to fly the flags of the Rainbow Nation. I dispute that any tour costs 50,000 Rand. It may very well be on Google or any other social media platform. The reality is travel internationally is in the region of 30,000 Rand for various major events that have taken place and are taking place. And if anybody has any doubt about that, they're welcome to talk to the travel agents who we have outsourced travel and tours to. Gender, in terms of what Madam Adams has raised, gender equity with regards to KSA, I think the organogram, Madam Treasurer, if you can put that back on, will explain that and show some clarity. But we aim for 33.33% gender equity with regards to representation officials, coaches, and referees. And I think I can confidently say to the forum, we have achieved that. And we would like to continue to increase that 33.33%. We are conscientized, especially with the strong emphasis on the amendment bill. And that is something that we will be looking at in case we've missed something with the amendment bill very seriously going forward. May I thank you, Madam Chair. If there's anything else, I am here to add value.
Any intake from your colleagues, they are allowed before
Madam Treasurer, would you like to add value?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. VP. Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to inform the portfolio committee that our membership fees, our annual membership fees per dojo is 1,370 Rand, which is quite a small amount comparing to other sports of golf and cricket, perhaps soccer as well. So we charge for existing what we call dojos or clubs, 1,370 Rand per annum. And if anybody new that wants to join the federation, it's 1,573 Rand. And those that we offer discounts to, 50% discounts to from the previously disadvantaged areas, 787 Rand as an annual membership fee. I further want to just respond to some of the questions that were posted in terms of the finance. Our annual financial statements are sent through to Department of Sports, Arts and Culture on an annual basis. The monies that were spent, the 1.4 that we received, wasn't only spent for women's karate, it was spent with women's, with administration and youth development as well. And then there was just one more comment. I think the bottom line, or to summarize everything, is that KSA suffers lack of funding for international participation for our athletes. If we get funding for them to travel, the platform has seen the medal counts. There are athletes coming from all aspects that are talented with the sport. And if we are successful in getting more funding, we are grateful for what we have received, but if we are successful for getting more funding, we can do more. We can put our athletes out there, we can compensate, we can discount, we can contribute towards them. And as our coach, Sensei Banyane has mentioned as well, talking from experience, he's been in karate from grassroots levels. He's experienced everything, being an athlete, coming from a rural area, then going through to being a coach, being a head of a dojo. So he, in a nutshell, can, as he explained to everybody, what it is there on the grass, on the bottom of the arena, on the grassroots. So our plea to this forum is to assist us wherever possible so that we can make a difference in the athlete's life, irrespective of whatever race, color, creed, gender they come from. We would be able to help them fairly in order to reach their goals as well. Thank you.
I'd like to respond to Mr. Mslongo with regards to requirements of a dojo. So the requirements of the dojo with regards to Karate South Africa is a minimum of a third Dan who is 21 years old. or a second Dan who works under the direct supervision of a fourth Dan and above. If you are a second Dan or a first Dan, there is no age restriction by the ages or from the ages of 19 to 21. So that statement is incorrect. Those are not part of our rules. As long as you are working under the supervision of a higher level karateka, you are allowed to open a dojo. You require police clearance certificate. You require a first aid certification. You have to be in good standing with your region, province, and the national federation. You will require a safeguarding certification in line with the SASCOC requirements. All new dojo applications will be vetted by the provincial structure. A newly approved dojo will be subject to a 12-month probation period. The dojo is recognized if that dojo registers all its members, irrespective of whether they are competitive or non-competitive members. Once you move to another organization, you are considered a new dojo. Athletes cannot register to KSA as individuals, but rather as a registered dojo, as KSA only recognizes dojos or clubs and not individuals. Application for membership must be done on the KSA website. By applying for KSA membership, dojo instructors certify that information given to them in the application is correct, and all their members will abide by the rules and regulations of Karate South Africa as the governing body of karate in South Africa and the World Karate Federation. Further confirmation that they do not have dual membership to any other dissident groups. Those are the requirements. KSI is not a member of the World Karate Federation. They have no standing in the World Karate Federation, and that is a club world championships. There is only one world championships that is recognized by the World Karate Federation, and that is the World Karate Federation, which holds a junior championship and a senior championship once every 2 years. Thank you.
Honourable members, I'm suspecting, now let me give it to the department.
Chairperson, apology.
Yes, Honourable Mhlongo.
I apologize, Chair. My question was not answered. The Constitution, what does the Constitution say in terms of office? And irrespective of majority, 50-52, irrespective of that, what does the Constitution say? How many terms must the president stand for? And can they share a constitution with us, their own constitution? And I went to the website.
Just, no one must speak. Please, in that hall or office where we are sitting, President Sean must mute. Honorable Mhlongo, I was thinking that you were saying that they must forward their constitution. Maybe they must respond to you as we are doing a follow-up. But when I was writing down, I was saying you that there are some information, but they can respond, but they must forward the constitution. But I'm giving them that allowance that they must do, because we still have a department to answer. Okay, Honorable Mhlongo. Mr. Pillay, President. President Pillay. President Pillay.
Yes, ma'am, I'm on. Can you hear me, Madam Chair?
Yes, President.
Madam Chair, firstly, the current constitution is silent on the number of terms that a president can share or can serve or any other official.
Okay.
We also have the constitution being amended with several amendments. So there's a draft constitution in place that will be ratified at the General Assembly that is happening on the 19th of March. The General Assembly has been informed. Mr. Mhlongo, you said your question hasn't been answered. I hope I've answered your question to a certain degree. Our constitution is always ready for perusal by anybody who wishes to look at the constitution, because the constitution has been endorsed by SASCOC and the World Karate Federation. Of course, the current one and the amendments are being ratified in a week's time. It has been a bone of contention for a while now, and it is in the hands of Norton Rose Fulbright, our legal advisors, who have tightened all the loose ends and ensured that it is sound when it's presented to the General Assembly. Anybody is welcome to our annual general meeting. And if you have an interest in attending our annual general meeting, please send me an email and I will send you an official invite. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, President. I'm getting a note from the secretary who's here, was reading the questions of Honorable Madlingozi. She is indicating that questions of Honorable Madlingozi were not answered. Did you take those questions, President, and the team?
Can I ask, can she read the questions out with respect? Can those questions be read out again?
Okay, no problem, President.
I'm not sure. I'm not
President.
sure.
No problem, President. So,
what are the questions, ma'am?
I'm referring to our secretary who's also writing minutes. Let's give her a chance to reread those questions.
I'm happy to hear that, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, President. So, is so in Solega? What's going on? Jabu?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes.
The first question is, since karate is a dangerous conduct sport and
Just a
karate
minute,
is
just a minute. Honorable, the President of Karate South Africa, where you are sitting, you don't all of you mute. Now we are given these questions, but we are still talking. Please don't forget to mute. Listen now. Our secretary is giving you again the questions. Okay, so. Sorry, Solek, about that.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The first question is, since Karate SA is a dangerous conduct sport and Karate SA is concerned about lack of participation from various schools, what measures do they have in place to make sure that coaches and whoever is assigned the welfare of the school children have gone through vigorous screening into making sure that they are perfect for their job, for their jobs at hand? The second one, what plans do they have to assist in generating finances to mitigate their financial challenges? What have they done to assist rural kids in taking part in this conduct sport? And the last question, Madam Chair, what is the organization's feeling about the lack of venues for karate to exhibit their sport and also spaces to practice? What about creating more marketing for the sport in the townships to curb drug abuse in the youth? Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Zoe. President, now is the time that you and your team, you must respond.
I'm ready to respond, Madam Chair, and others will join me.
Yes.
May I first say that the IOC is very conscientized in not recognizing, not accepting blood sport. Therefore, in the karate that we do, Madam Zoleka, the karate that we practice under the WKF auspices is not a blood sport. There is no contact allowed for children, cadet, up until juniors. Seniors are allowed contact, but it is skin touch. If somebody gets injured, the possibility of the opponent who inflicted the injury gets disqualified. We play the game by very, very stringent rules that has been advocated by the World Karate Federation. For children, there is such a thing as helmets, which is protective. We have a lot of protective gear in karate: foot pads, shin pads, breast guards, and of course, gloves. We are very confident that there are more injuries in other contact sports than there has ever been in karate. Karate is outstandingly regulated in terms of the rules that restrict the spillage of any blood. And I invite members on this forum to come to our championships, attend our championships on the 18th of March in Durban. It's the Children, Cadet, and Junior Championships. We've just concluded the Senior Nationals in the Eastern Cape, Port Elizabeth, Quebec. We are now doing the Children's Championships in Durban on the 18th. And you can observe on the ground the level of safety and the measures that we take to ensure that the sport is safe, sound, and not one of a sport that you can describe as a blood sport. If we engage in severe contact, hard contact, and make it a blood sport, we will be expelled by the World Karate Federation. When the IOC recognizes a world governing body, they take a very close interest in the rules of that governing body to ensure that that governing body does not advocate blood sports. And that is the case with the World Karate Federation, inter alia Karate South Africa. With regards, Madam Zoleka, to finances and how we are helping and where do we help, well, I can say to you, it's work in progress. It's an ongoing process. We are talking to private business sector. Recently, the gentleman called Mr. Reddy, who's just opened the big hotel here, and the gentleman that's been very prevalent in the casino business, assisted with the Africa Championship. So we had help from the private business sector. We are also raising funds with membership. There are cake sales. There are various other methods that we're using to raise funds so that we continue to conduct the social outreach programs and ensure that the children, particularly of the less fortunate, are given the spotlight, given an opportunity. And it's amazing the talent that is in rural areas, in informal settlements. And once we tap into them, as we continuously doing, we see this talent emerging. So we are very, very conscientized into ensuring that we raise funds on a personal level. And as Mr. Gumede Bongani alluded, some of the projects are being undertaken by the instructors themselves, such as himself, in areas far north and south. We are going to do a very big program in the Ugu district of KwaZulu-Natal very soon. We had meetings there with local government and district officials of the Ugu authorities. Lack of venues, we constantly use the Tongaat Sports Center, which I'm afraid is now showing signs of collapse because the roof ceiling is starting to fall. You know, various roof ceiling partitions are looking as if they're going to collapse anytime. So it's become now high risk for us to take our children there, although it's owned by the municipality, so the cost of hiring the Tongaat Sports Center has been relatively low. But we have no option now but to go to Old Mutual Sports Center at the UKZN University complex. So we hope that more facilities can be established for our championships. We went to the Quebec Sports Complex, Leisure Complex, very good venue, but a bit small for us to have a major championships there. So allow me to make an appeal to the powers that be, that we need more sports complexes, certainly in KwaZulu-Natal. And I'm sure I speak for.
Chairperson, I hope you can give, I'm trying my best to be heard. Chairperson, point of order, please. Can the gentleman explain the screening of coaches. What is going on? He's not answering that question. The people that are busy with the kids, how are they screened?
Honorable Madlingos.
He's reading his report. He's not answering. He's reading his report that is giving, but he's not answering anything.
Honorable Madlingos, can
Yes,
first and foremost reminding you for the second time last week and this week that you must raise your hand. And I was going to give you platform if your hand was up when the president was saying that I'm done, because president is responding and then he's giving other colleagues of himself to respond. But now I don't know what are you doing, honorable member, because we were still listening to the president. He didn't say that he has done to answer your questions. So I would ask that the procedure of the committee, when you want to do a follow-up, you don't just call Uchepesin, you raise your hand. And I'm not yet even sure whether they've finished to answer your question, but also thank you that now you are aware, you are in, because your question, you were having a problem then, and we asked Zolega to read, but can you wait until they'll tell us that now they have done, and you must raise your hand for a follow-up. Thank you, Honorable Madlingos. Go on, President. I'm sorry about that. President of Karate South Africa, President Pillay, Bongani.
Madam Chair, I think
Yes.
President is struggling. Can I also add? Let me do the video quickly.
Yes.
I can also act as Mr. Banyani, coach. I just wanted to also say something when coming to the rural development. The question that was raised, what are we doing to take karate in rural development and develop karate there? Luckily now we are having a development officers in all 9 provinces. Every provincial structure and the regional structure have development officer, which is the person that deals with development. And they are the one that make sure that the karate is there in the rurals and in our areas. The bigger challenge that we are facing, that's why now we think our proposal for karate be open in the schools, it will be granted, because now the bigger challenge is the facilities that we find ourselves struggling in our areas, like Botshabelo, where I'm staying from. Then we don't have a community development hall, community halls, and the facilities that we use. So if we have the facilities at schools, then it gives us chance now to use the schools as the facilities that we can open more clubs. So then that it will grow our development. That's why in the first, when I was talking, I even mentioned that for mass participation sports, karate is one of those can pull the crowd, but unfortunately is we don't have the facilities where we can do that one. So karate, South Africa has made sure that the development officers, which is the initial development officers, is Mr. Lucas Tau. He works closely with the provincial development officers and the regional development officers to make sure that karate is alive from the rurals. And what is most important, the previous years, we had the development tournament, which the province was taking the athletes direct from the province to the national. But last year in the development of tournament, it was held at Eastern Cape. The clubs from the clubs rurals, every club had an opportunity to register direct with Karate South Africa to take the athletes to the development tournament, which it was opening the house or the more participation from the athlete, because if it goes by the province, that it means the region had to do the trials and select 4 athletes, and the province has to do the trials with all the regions that they have, and they take 4 athletes to go there. Then it was not helping us to make sure that the karate is developed in the rurals. But the last year, then every club had the opportunity to register their own athletes. It doesn't matter how many they are, to the national tournament that was held in Eastern Cape. So Karate South Africa, it is very serious when it comes to trying to make sure that karate is there in the rural area and the athletes are getting motivated. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Now I'm giving the last opportunity to the member who wanted to raise a follow-up question, which is Honorable Madlingos, because he has been not having chance of getting in. Now I can give you a chance, Honorable Madlingos. Maybe now is also having this problem. The load shedding, honorable members and our guest, it's doing like this. Maybe that time he wanted to just speak. He was having a chance that network is back, but now I don't see him in the platform, and I'm trying him to raise the follow-up. But I'm suspecting one of his complaints you did here and you try to respond, Mongani. Honorable members, can I give this platform to the department? Simpiwe.
Good afternoon, Chairperson, and good afternoon to the members, honorable members of the committee. And good afternoon.
Can you show your?
I'm trying to show it, Chairperson. Don't know whether it's visible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Netball Friday. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yes, yes.
You can switch it off now.
Thank you. I was still greetings to the president of Karate South Africa and the leadership of Karate South Africa. Chairperson, the number of questions that were directed towards the department, I would attempt to cover them at one go. The first question, Madam Chair, was on how the department determined the amount allocated to Karate South Africa. Madam Chair, allow me to indicate that the process is such that we invite the federations to submit their applications in the form of a business plan, and on the basis of the assessment of those business plans, there will be eventual allocation made. Obviously, there are a number of factors that are taken into consideration. One being the nature of the project and what it seeks to achieve, and there is sufficient space in the business plan for the federations to explain what the project is about, how it contributes to the priorities of the country, and how it addresses the other key areas such as demographics, as well as the other related aspects. So Chair, it is primarily based on what the federation would have submitted. Having said that, Chair, there was a question also on the amount of money allocated or the underfunding of Karate South Africa or federations in general. Madam Chair, I think the best way of answering this question is basically to premise it on the amount of money that as a department we receive, which is earmarked for federations per year. And that is for the current financial year ending this month is 117 million. Now, Chair, that 117 million is shared by more than 65 federations on average, which, Madam Chair, if we were to divide it equally, 117 million divided by 65, it will give roughly 1.8 million per federation. Now that just demonstrates the constraints within which we have to try and avail the funding to the federations. It indeed is our wish, Madam Chair, that perhaps a case for sport be made so that we can see much better resource allocation to cater for the needs of the federations and the sport in general. The other question, Chair, was on the whether why Karate South Africa is not included in the as part of the EPG assessment. Madam Chair, when the process of the Eminent Persons Group on Transformation in Sport commenced, it focused on only 5 codes, the so-called Big Five, as a pilot case, and after having tested the system with the 5, the scope was then broadened to up to 16 federations. Now, those federations which were targeted are the federations that are part of the school sport program, which have been designated as priority codes. So karate is not one of them, and that's the reason why they have not been part of the assessment conducted by the Eminent Persons Group. But Chair, I think it is worth noting that perhaps there is a need to review the codes that are included in the assessment, and that is something that will still require a discussion. In terms of Chair, there was a question around monitoring. As a department, we do get some of the officials out to various activities of federations. Obviously, there's quite a lot of activities out there and a lot of federations, so we may not reach all of them, but we do go to the various activities to actually see and monitor whether what the federations submitted in their business plans indeed happens. Chair, the other question, I'm not sure whether it was perhaps just to note the recommendation that perhaps there may be a need to reconsider and relook at the inclusion of karate in the school sport program. Chair, obviously that discussion would need the involvement of the Department of Basic Education. Chair, we would note that just like boxing, there are certain restrictions imposed by, in terms of policy, by Department of Basic Education particularly when it comes to what is classified as combat sport. And I think we appreciate that there's a clear distinction in terms of karate based on styles. If you consider full contact vis-a-vis semi-contact, or in some instances, absolutely no contact, those are some of the discussions that needs to be considered, because karate does contribute in a number of ways to a lot of aspects that may build young people and youth. So, Chair, I think that part we need to acknowledge that it requires a further engagement, even at the policy level. Chair, there was a request for certain documents to be sent to the portfolio committee. That is the constitution of KSA, as well as the audited financial statements of KSA. We have sent them, Chair, to Ms. Gula as the meeting was progressing. So that has already been taken care of. Thank you. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you so much. And thank you about this last report. That's what sometimes we need to be hands-on in order that the chairperson must not get so much email, honorable members not getting their responses in some entities. So being a department who we are doing oversight in these entities, that we are encouraging what we are just saying just now. Honorable members, time is 18 minutes past 12. And you know what? Initially, I was thinking that this is a short presentation and short whatever, but it has got so many things. As we are saying, you know, if we can have this discussion in the policy issues, maybe we can have less gender-based violence, because as women, we can defend ourselves. In these days, it's not even when we are walking, it's either you want to leave your bag in the car, which that car maybe is not even secured, because getting off the car, going to the shop, going to the bank, these people whom we call criminals, they will grab, and I'm sure out of your skills, there are some of the skills that you are giving. If this person, because sometimes when they've eaten what we think is we're still having a problem, if they've taken drugs, they'll just come straight to you. So I know that there are self-defenses that if it's coming direct to you, if it's coming sideways and whatever, you can even pretend as if you don't see and apply your skills which you got from this Karate South Africa. And we are saying that this is a very, very important meeting of today, because amongst federations, you are not the least, you are also very important. But one other thing that we know as members of the committee, that the discipline that is coming from the Karate Federation and the training and the youth, if they can have a chance to get a training or sensei, and they can even behave, because you know what, sometimes when we are trained by people, call them soldiers or whoever, telling you when you can shoot, when you cannot. It's like in karate. People who are being trained by karate, they know when they can fight, when they can just apply tactics of seeing that want to protect, not to want to fight, because immediately that they are starting that fight, they can come very harsh and hard. And as you are aware that if you are a soldier, you don't just shoot randomly. You have got to do your warnings, firing up. So I'm saying that according to us as this committee, that this federation is getting the list, we do understand, but we are taking it as a very, very important federation, not saying that others are not very important. As this committee once visited by one international sport people, forgotten, is it Australian, whatever, they were reflecting to us, saying that they are the most budgeted in their country. And if the history is telling us, even if we're Googled, that in some countries, sport is the most budgeted, but we are aware that we are not international. We are just South Africans. We will always, every now and then, as this committee who are doing an oversight and who are presenting a department also, always present that if funds or treasurer is having to look at the very important case of sport. Sport is a unifier, and we know that even within this sport fraternity, we're having even SAIDs who are looking after drugs at school, but they can assist even if we do ask them even to assist clubs if they have right to do that. So we have a very important role to play as sport. As we are talking, honorable members are asking you, the leaguers is so important that all of us one day will be retired, one day will be not be sport members of committee, but would love even to our good selves to live a good leaguers, to try to champion, to try to knock in all doors. That is sport is so important. With those words, can I take this opportunity to thank the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, and to thank the Karate South Africa. You came prepared, and if there are gaps, as maybe members cannot get all what they've required, thank you on what each department and your good selves that already we have communicated and fast track and forwarded the information that we wanted. In that, I'm thanking you, and I want to say I'm releasing you now, department and our visitors, President and your entourage. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you, Simpiwe.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Shen, President. Jenny, we want to say something? I'm seeing you showing the face for the first time. Do you want to say something? Okay, which means, Siphelele, why are you laughing with a nice shirt? Honorable members, please, Zoe, release our visitors and our department. Honorable members, we are back now. I'm seeing even Nkosini Thuli. Thank Dada, you always have a problem of network. Thank you. I'm still seeing Nokobonga. Thank you that today our communication person is with us. Honorable members, this communication person, he's always been taken by other departments. And I must tell you that I'm always not happy when he's not here, and sometimes wanted to ask to me, Chairperson, what have you resolved? And I'm thinking that sometimes when they are taking you, because I know that they always take your good self, you must have an alternate if it's possible, because sometimes we'll be seeing things that are issued which we didn't say, not knowing where these things are coming from. But because we don't want always that we must always respond in some things that maybe we didn't even agree upon. I'm suspecting by this time, you know, your chairperson, that I don't like to be dragged to things that it was not the resolution of the committee, whilst maybe we do have communication, somebody, but even that communication, he's always consulting the chairperson. Thank you, Sibo and Liseho Maluka. Thank you that you're always with us. Honorable members, according to our agenda, now we are left with one item, our minutes. They are not long today. If we can take our minutes with due respect, members, we're about to close the meeting. Thank you for your contributions and your suggestions. Can you flight?
Madam Chair, excuse me, Madam Chair. The minutes were not circulated to members and we removed them on the agenda. So they were not on the agenda that was adopted.
Oh,
yes.
I read the minutes and corrected them. Okay. And on that note, honorable members, thank you so much. Have a nice weekend. I can reflect to the members, because some correspondence which are coming to me, they are not secretary ones. There is something that came to my office, not officially getting the detail. 25th, there are awards in where's this place? So, but I'm suspecting the correspondence. I'm suspecting the correspondence. I've asked I notified the secretariat that they must apply in order that if we are getting a permission with chairperson of committees, they must immediately book for the members, especially for the accommodation. I was even asked by UDM that I must try to fast track. Unfortunately, that notice is not very official. There are things that there is a way of inviting, not just that poster. So I'm just raising that, honorable members. Wishing you a good weekend, hoping that we are ready for our netball world tournament is coming to us, and UDM promise about t-shirts. Any other things that we wish will very soon call whoever. You see this thing of grounds and whatever. We wish that we must get that information, that this leakers of netball, it must be that leakers of 2010 that we must, it must leave so many netball grounds. I'm not opening that, I'm just, because we're just alone, we must try our best. And I like this thing of illegals, to leave a good leakers. By that note, the meeting is closed.